What ain't no dream team? It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with should we still celebrate Australia Day? I know this is a big deal out in Australia, where it's like the Aboriginals and there's a good amount of people that call it like Invasion Day, because that's the day where they came and invaded Australia, right? I don't know the history 100%. I've seen different videos saying different things about it, different comments saying different things about it. And so, should Australia Day be moved? Should they celebrate it? I don't know. Let's find out. Before we jump in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Oh my God!
You see some quite ugly racism in country towns especially, with the non-Aboriginal people saying it's all the fault of Aboriginal people. But here's the irony. Many of the elites today are making the whole debate much harder to have because they're not blaming the Aboriginal people. They're saying they're victims and we whiteys are the problem.
Yes.
It's all our fault. Our culture's the evil one that's done these terrible things.
Yes.
And what happens with both of those, we lose our humanity and our understanding that we're actually all in this together.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And then dishonesty goes.
Yeah.
And you get virtue signalling, like let's change the date
Yes.
of Australia Day from people who want to engage in symbolism for reasons of loathing of our own culture.
Yes.
More than, I'm being really blunt here, I think a genuine understanding of what's going to make a difference for Aboriginal people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, it is like a distraction, if you like. Well, we're not actually fixing any problems. So let's look over here to this lovely bit of symbolism that'll make you feel warm and fuzzy while we don't actually get to the crux of the issue and deal with it on a human basis.
Yeah.
And
I do understand where he's coming from, and it's saying like everybody's really kind of trying to blame the other side. Like one side saying it was Aboriginal people's fault, other side saying no, the Aboriginals are victims, and we're the problem. We're the ones who came in and invaded and did these horrible things, and it's like everybody's throwing blame, but it kind of distracts you from understanding like, hey, like we're all in this together. And I know it's hard to just like let's forget the past and come together. Let's, know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel like right now we are all human beings on this planet, and it's just really about trying as much as possible to come together, trying to listen, trying to understand to your fellow human being, trying to understand to bridge that gap to where it's not blame being thrown around, but it's more understanding each other, understanding where the other side's coming from. And right, I feel like there should be more of that, but in this day and age, I feel like it's hard, and because of a tough past or a tough history, it's definitely hard to let go of that. And so I can understand both sides of this. I can try to understand. I don't say I fully understand. I can listen and try to understand both sides.
with it on a human basis.
Yeah.
And that's what frustrates me the most, is that, you know, if you're a human and you've got white skin, you're not allowed to have an opinion on anything to do with anyone of dark skin.
That's facts.
It's, you know, when there's so much goodwill out there for non-Aboriginal people toward Aboriginal people, if we get people of Aboriginal descent continually who are the, you know, in the elite of this country, who are turning around and continually saying, you know, it's all the fault of the white man, yet they themselves have had all this wonderful opportunity, have paved a way for them to, you know, become elitists in this country, and turn around and say everything's the white man's fault and I'm still a victim. One, it's completely untrue. It's telling a lie, because you're not a victim, because you wouldn't be where you are without the support of the white people that have helped you get to where you are. And they're human beings just like you, and they're trying to do their best in their own lives as well.
I would say I myself personally do not like a victim mentality. I understand that there are victims, but I don't like living in a victim mentality saying I can't succeed or I can't get to a certain place because I'm being held down because of racism, because of, know what I'm saying, because of certain things. I hate thinking that way because then I feel like there's a ceiling to what you can accomplish. And I don't want there to be a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? I want to believe that I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to accomplish. But I feel like with the mentality of, you know what I'm saying? With the victim mentality, I can't get to where I want to go because I always, anytime I fail, I won't look at myself. I'll say, you know what? You know what I'm saying? I failed because of due to racism. I failed due to prejudice. I failed. But I'll never look at myself. Do I understand that there is racism in the world? Yes. Do I understand that there is prejudice in the world? Yes. Do I understand there has been a dark past in the world? Yes. I understand all these things, but I don't like the mentality because I feel like you just hold on to that mentality and you're never able to accomplish or chase your dreams because you don't believe that you can. Because there's always someone to blame or you're always being held down by something. If that makes sense. Keep it going. My bad.
But you're not actually helping the most marginalised Aboriginal people who are nothing but Aboriginal, who have their culture intact, who have their language intact. They are the most marginalised. And to turn around and say to all those people with goodwill, it's all your fault, that goodwill is going to fade at some point.
Facts.
You know, people are going to get sick of continually being called a name. And when they're there, they've got, you know, they've opened themselves and they're saying, what can we do to assist? Effectively, they're stopping any kind of understanding of what it simply is to be human, to help in the best way that they can with these circumstances, with this situation. It's like, you know, it is far more important not to cause offence, I guess, than it is to address real issues.
That's big. What she just said, it's far more important, it seemed like in today's day and age, not to cause offense than to address real issues. That's huge. I 100% agree with that statement.
People don't want to cause offence. People don't want to put themselves in the firing line, if you like. And I've had a gutful, and I'm quite happy to stand there while guns are blazing because it's time the nonsense came to an end, so we can actually start to really, you know, address these issues on the basis that we're all human.
Terrific. Insightful remarks.
Yes.
A comment, if I may, and then a lead into your thoughts as a question on something else. On Australia Day, it seems to me that the worst thing you could do for Aboriginal people would be to change the date. That might sound a funny thing to say, but I say it for this reason. I think we ought to work hard to make Australia Day a day when we reflect more on the good and the bad. If you move the date, you'll forget the need for an honest debate about what happened, because there were aspects of it that were noble, the attempt to rehabilitate people, and in fact the sailing orders were very clear that the local people were to be treated with great respect. That was all in the orders. But then there were the utterly dreadful things that happened. The disease, the massacres that followed later, which were truly appalling. I mean, unbelievable. And it wasn't until after the Mile Creek massacre that anybody was really brought to justice for what they'd done. My point, though, is that the best thing we can do on Australia Day, in my view, is to celebrate the good things and reflect on the things that we need to learn from. That'd be my sort of comment. But and then we come to the issue that you've just raised.
I do understand where he's coming from, and I can agree with that as well. I mean, it would be great to, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, celebrate the good things, but also reflection of the things of the past of things that we need to work on and things that were done in the past that just were absolutely terrible. You can, right, reflect on those, but still be able to celebrate good things. So it's hard. I don't know the history of Australia. I've never been to Australia. And so this is all coming from an outside viewpoint. And so you take it with a grain of salt. But I understand. And so, Australia Day, or if you call it Invasion Day, I feel like both sides kind of just like need to just kind of come to a try to listen to the other side and come to an understanding and understand that like we are all humans at the end of the day, and we are all in this together at the end of the day.
Which is, what do we actually do to make a difference? We've got to, I know I've said it before, a bit hackneyed now, but break the cycle.
I actually like that conversation that was going on. I absolutely love that clip, because I feel like these are we like she said we get to shine away from talking about real issues because of how it gets taken by us. People don't want to be offended, or people always look to be offended. I mean, by anything that you say, and so it's like you try to tiptoe around what you say. You try to tiptoe around certain issues. You try to not give your opinion on certain things because you don't want to be like, people will cancel you in this day and age. People will hate you. People will hold on to what you said, and it's like nothing ever really gets solved because we tiptoe around these issues. We don't address these issues directly. But that's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. It's your boy D Neal. Out.